Please take your seats. Sergeant at Arms, please secure the door. Colors of our nation in place. Render a hand salute by the numbers. 1, 2. Call upon our national chaplain to invoke the blessing.
If you have not uncovered, please uncover them. Hey, listen up. Before we start the devotion, I want to uplift your spirit and motivate you today, because we've been through a storm. Victory, V-I-C-T-O-R-Y, is our battle cry. And we're still going through that storm, but we're here this morning. Communication is hard to see, but in the end is the key. That great relationships we all want and need. I want us to remember all our members that lost their loved ones since the last time we got together. I want you to remember those 3 young men that died at Fort Drum, New York, within 48 hours, committed suicide, those soldiers. I want you to think about our members that want to be here but fighting COVID, and those that survived COVID. We want you to keep all of them, when we go into prayer, keep all of them in prayer. And before you leave today, look at your buddy next to your right and left arm and tell them you're not alone, that we're here for a family together for each other. The American Legion do a buddy check for veterans, but SAL, I want us to do a buddy check on each other. Make sure that we lifted up our spirits, because we can get PTSD like veterans, and a lot of other things can happen to us. So we one family, we SAL strong. Now let's go to the Lord in prayer. Oh, Heavenly Father, grant us the things we are doing today for the betterment of our organization and ourselves. We ask for your supreme guidance in all our daily lives. Amen.
In memory of our departed comrades and the comrades of all veterans, let us stand in silence. To maintain a high awareness that a constant vigil should be maintained so that no POW or MIA will be left unaccounted for. The Sons of the American Legion designate a POW MIA empty chair at all meetings. This is a physical symbol of the thousands of American POW and MIAs still unaccounted for. As a reminder for all of us to spare no efforts to secure the release of any American prisoner from captivity, the repatriation of the remains of those who died bravely in defense of liberty, and a full accounting of all those missing. Let us rededicate ourselves for this vital endeavor. Sergeant at Arms, please place the POW MIA flag on the empty chair. The National Sergeant at Arms, will he lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please cover. National Vice Commander Jeff Vrabel Sr., will lead us in the preamble. Proud possessors of a priceless heritage, we male descendants of veterans of all wars associate ourselves together as the Sons of the American Legion for the following purposes: to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, to maintain law and order, to foster and perpetuate a true spirit of Americanism, to preserve the memories of our former members and the association of our members and our forefathers in all wars, to inculcate a sense of individual obligation to the community, state, and nation, to combat the autocracy of both the classes and the masses, to make right the master of might, to promote peace and goodwill on earth, to safeguard and transmit to posterity the principles of justice, freedom, and democracy, to consecrate and sanctify our friendship by our devotion to mutual helpfulness, to adopt in letter and spirit all the great principles for which the American Legion stands, and to assist in carrying on for God and country. Serving as a constant reminder that service men and women on a daily basis are putting themselves at risk to ensure our freedoms. The Sons of the American Legion displays a corporate Blue Star service banner at all meetings to serve as a symbol of our support of all of the military personnel serving this great country. Let us never forget that every day these individuals constantly protect our liberty. The Blue Star banner is in place. National Adjutant, you read the call.
Pursuant to Article 7, Section 1 of the National Constitution of the Sons of the American Legion, the National Commander of the Sons of the American Legion hereby calls for a meeting of the National Executive Committee of the Sons of the American Legion to be held October 2nd and 3rd, 2021 in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Mr. Adjutant, how about some roll call?
National Commander Michael Fox. Present. National Vice Commanders Richard Huntley. Present. Jason Roberts. Jeffrey Vrabel Sr.
Most members paid in the region is present.
Juan Torres.
Here.
Jim Stewart.
Here.
National Adjutant Anthony Wright is present. National Assistant Adjutant Emeritus Harold Thompson Jr. National Assistant Adjutants Ed Shoebrooks, Robert Avery, Scott Williams, Scott Thornton, Jeffrey Hicks. National Chaplain Jeffrey Gibson Sr. Present. National Judge Advocate Joseph Paviglianti. Present. National Historian Williams Towns Jr. Present. National Sergeant at Arms Charles Curtis. Here. National Assistant Sergeant at Arms Brian Waters, Lyle Larson, Gary Wagner, Mark Fayer Sr. Here. National Commander's Aide Frank Mraz.
Go Dodgers.
Chief of Staff Bob Brown, Mark Severance. Parliamentarian Ron Roberts. Roll call National Commanders. Immediate past National Commander Clint Bolt. Past National Commander Michael Seaton. Robert McBride. J.R. Stillwell. John Smolinski. Robert Faust. James Hartman. Gregory Reese. Grant Jameson. Charles Gannon. John Sherrard. David Stevens. Christopher Cirillo. Fred Hartline. Douglas Bible. Richard League. David Faust. Robert Worrell. Eugene Sacco. Roland Madison. Joseph Maine. John Dietz. Jack Jordan. William Mataska. Byron Robichaux. Richard Cook. Kevin Winkleman. Clifford Smith. Nia Warnken. Michael Deacon. William Sparwasser. Earl Ratoski. Raymond Gill Jr. Thomas Cisna. Mark Arneson. David Dew. James Roberts III. Joseph Gladden. Michael Moss. Kevin Collier. Jeff Frame. Brian O'Hearn. Danny Smith. Greg Gibbs. Roll call of detachments. Alabama. Alaska. Arizona. Arkansas. California. Colorado. Connecticut. Delaware. District of Columbia. Florida. France. NEC alternate? Both? Thank you. Georgia. Hawaii. Idaho. Illinois. Indiana. Iowa. Kansas. Kentucky. Louisiana. Maine. Maryland. Massachusetts. Michigan.
Sir, Michigan's NEC and our alternate are both homesick. I'd like to ask that our delegate sit in with a voice and no vote.
Who's the individual?
Mike Holly?
Permission granted. Voice only.
Thank you.
Minnesota. Mississippi. Missouri. Montana. Nebraska. Nevada. New Hampshire. New Jersey. New Mexico. New York. North Carolina. North Dakota. Ohio. Oklahoma. Oregon. Pennsylvania. Philippines. Puerto Rico. Rhode Island. South Carolina. South Dakota. Tennessee. Texas. Utah. Vermont. Virginia. Which one was it? Thank you. Virginia. Oh, I'm sorry. It's hard to see up here this morning. Washington. West Virginia. Wisconsin. Wyoming. Mr. Commander, you have 42 voting members present. You have a quorum.
I now declare this fall 2021 meeting of the National Executive Committee of the Sons of the American Legion regularly convened. At this point, going to do a little deviation in house cleaning business. I'd like to call upon Parliamentarian Ron Roberts.
Thank you, Mr. Commander. The Commander asked me this morning to give a little talk on how to make motions and seconds and so on. But first of all, a lot of you already know me. I want to give you a little of my background in parliamentary procedure. For the VFW of Mississippi, I was the parliamentarian for 5 years. I've been a member of the National Association of Parliamentarians since 1986. They are a large group worldwide. We have just over 3,400 members worldwide. So give me a little bit of background in parliamentary procedure. I've taught the course at New Commanders Training. This will be the 9th year. I know, recognize a lot of faces that have been there. So we'll go over some procedures that need to be followed for a couple of reasons. One, we want to do things right. Secondly, this pretty young lady sitting over here is a court recorder. She's a professional. She can only record what she hears. Okay? These are a historical document of our organization, also a legal document of our organization. This proves that we are a program of the Legion, fulfilling part of our obligation for that proof. So let's get right into what everybody wants to hear, parliamentary procedure, first thing in the morning. Wow. Procedure for making a motion. I see everybody starting to nod already. Before a member in an assembly can make a motion, they got to be recognized by the chair. What does that mean? Don't walk up to the microphone and say, Joe Blow from Montana, I want to make a motion, so-and-so. This gentleman here, our commander, or the chair, parliamentary procedure refers to, the person in charge, recognizes. There might be 3 people come up to the same microphone at basically the same time. It's not who shouts first, who hollers the loudest. It's who this man nods to or points to. He decides who he's going to hear, okay? To claim the floor, a member, especially in a deliberative assembly of this size. Robert's Rules of Order say any assembly that's bigger than can fit around a boardroom table, which the big boardroom tables I've been in board meetings hold 20 people. That's a lot of people around a big table, but they're a big table. Any beyond that, you follow these rules. To claim the floor, a member rises, goes to the microphone, says Mr. Commander or Mr. Chair once he's been recognized, then his name, his title, and then states his motion, who he represents. So if Cliff Hill comes up here to the microphone first, recognized by the chair, he would say, my name is Cliff Hill, NEC from Massachusetts, say he's an NEC. He's already said he's an NEC, his name, and who he represents. She's got it on record over there. I would like to make a motion that. Now, in a big assembly like this, the second does the same thing. You don't shout second from your seat. You come up to the microphone, same procedure, introduce yourself. I know it's different than what we've been doing, but we're going to try proper parliamentary procedure. For instance, again, I'll pick on somebody else, my friend John Chang from New York. John can't stand up and say, New York seconds. New York can't second. Who is New York? Do they have a vote at anything? But John Chang, the NEC from New York, does have a vote. Again, state your name. Once he makes the motion, seconded, then what happens? The commander says, any discussion? Same way with discussion. Step up to the microphone, introduce yourself again. He'll say, go ahead, speak on it. Remember, 2 times from the same individual before everyone else has a chance to speak. Then it's the commander's obligation when the discussion is over to clearly state, we've had a first, a second on the motion to state the motion exactly. Now we're going to call for a vote. You got to remember, this is where you have to pay attention. We have to take our duties and responsibilities seriously. You have to pay attention to the motion as it was originally stated. This man here, if he changes a word in it, could mean an entirely different thing. So he's got to make sure he repeats it exactly. You've got to listen to make sure he repeats it exactly, because you're voting on what he states. Any quick questions? Any long questions? Mr. Kelly, my friend.
Mr. Roberts, as you see, it takes a minute for
Yeah.
anyone who's not sitting right in this general area.
I agree
Would
with
it be proper to stand up and say, Mr. Commander, and then advance over to the microphone?
Yes, he can point to you and say, Mr. Kelly, come on forward. I agree with you, because especially if you're stuck in the middle and you're a robust individual. You notice how I covered myself on that one. That would be fine to do something like that. You've been recognized, and he has the opportunity to recognize you. That's the main thing. Remember, state everything clearly, because it's going on the record. an official record of the Sun's work, that what we do. Any other questions? Good question, Bill. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Thank you, Mr. Commander.
Thank you, sir. All right, now at this time, Mr. Adjutant, you read the minutes from the last meeting?
Mr. Commander,
Yeah.
Mr. Commander, Dennis Henkemeyer, NEC from the detachment of Minnesota. I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes.
There is a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Tom Glander, NEC, Alabama, seconds the motion.
Okay. There is a motion on the floor from Dennis Enkelmeyer from the detachment of Minnesota to suspend the reading of the minutes, and a second by Tom Glander. Is there any discussion? Yes.
Ned Fox, NEC, California. I would think we could dispense with the minutes, but we should at least approve the minutes as presented. Published, presented. Hope you read your emails.
Excuse me. Is that an amendment to the motion?
I would be happy to amend the motion that the minutes be approved as presented.
Published?
Published, presented and published.
There's a motion to amend the previous motion to state to accept the minutes as published. Is there a second?
Juan Cruz, NEC from Detachment Puerto Rico. Second.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? There's a motion to amend the previous motion to accept the minutes as published. If there's no discussion, all those in favor of the amendment, say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Amendment carries. So there's a motion on the floor from Dennis Hinkelmeyer, from the detachment of Minnesota to accept the minutes as published, seconded by Tom Glander from Alabama. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I call for the question. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Yes.
Mr. Commander,
Yes.
I have the distinct, I'm not going to say pleasure, but opportunity to call the commander out of order twice. Anyone have an idea why? Okay, we've got some people familiar with Robert's Rules of Order. First of all, call the question, Robert's Rules of Order, page 167, item 16, clearly states, to call the question or raise the question is a main motion. Requiring a second, no debate is allowed, requires a 2/3 vote in order to pass because it suspends the rights of members to debate. So, you already had a motion on the floor and yet you made another motion. You can't do that, Mr. Commander.
Thank you.
Nobody can do that. Second reason you're out of order is, are you aware that the chair or the commander, whatever you called, cannot make a motion while he has the gavel? 2 times you're out of order. I did this for your benefit out here so you can see how parliamentary procedure works. Yes, call for the question is a main motion. It's another motion. We already had the one on the floor that we're just going to vote on. But he stated another main motion. Okay? And if you'd repeat them.
The motion also was to
He's going to He's going to fix it.
So now that I've been ruled out of order, let's try this again. There was a motion on the floor to suspend the reading of the minutes, amended to accept the minutes as published by Dennis Hinkelmeyer, seconded by Tom Glander. Is there any discussion on that? Any discussion? I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you. So if that doesn't prove to all of you that I'm not above any of you, that we're all in the same light, I don't know what's going to do that this weekend. But that's why you surround yourself with people that have more knowledge than you to keep you in line. So thank you, Ron. At this time, are there any first-time attendees to Indianapolis for the NEC meeting? Please rise. Well, welcome to Indianapolis. Lucky for you, you get to see a lot of changes this weekend to a different NEC, and I hope you guys enjoy yourselves. At this time, can I have any dual members please rise? I'd like you to be recognized as well. On behalf of the entire organization, thank you for your service. And I'd like to point out, we've got one member that's in the back there. Mr. Brandon Curry, can you please rise in uniform? Thank you. We missed you at convention, but we're glad you're here now. So, if there are no objections at this point, I'm going to deviate a little bit from the agenda. Hearing none. So, gentlemen, there's been a lot of rumors going around about what's going on and what's been happening. I'm going to do my best to help all of you out with that. I'm going to give you the knowledge that I have at this point. I'm not going to take any questions on it. I'm just sharing information with everybody so that they're more aware of what's happening. American Legion has presented me with a resolution number 28. Constitution, bylaws, offices, resolutions, and policies of the Sons of the American Legion. Origin, Sons of the American Legion Committee. Submitted by the National Sons of the American Legion Committee. May 5th and 6th, 1938. Resolved by the National Executive Committee of the American Legion in regular meeting assembled in Indianapolis, Indiana on May 5th and 6th, 1938. There can be no fundamental differences or conflict between the Constitution, bylaws, offices, resolutions, and policies of the American Legion and the Sons of the American Legion, but that the American Legion provisions, whenever applicable, shall cover any instance of such differences or conflict, and the conflicting provision of the Sons of the American Legion shall be deemed void. Yesterday morning, there was a meeting, a quite large meeting, with some of the leadership in the American Legion, including but not limited to National Adjutant, Dan Wheeler, Dean Kessel, our liaison, Ken George, Jake Comer, Dan Dillinger, Dan Ludwig, the newly formed committee of the Sons of the American Legion, the SL Advisory Board, with all of its members, myself, and a few others. Sean Long, who's the treasurer, Gaither Keener, National Finance Commission chairman. The American Legion has given us an opportunity. They have eliminated some committees by their decision and restructured those committees to one committee at this point, the SAL Advisory Board. The SAL Advisory Board is going to be working with a new committee on the American Legion, the SAL Oversight Committee. For many years, there's been talks amongst a lot of us that, we want to run our own program. We want to operate things the way we want to operate them. Gentlemen, the American Legion has given us that opportunity. They are giving us the opportunity to control our own destiny. Yes, they've dictated a couple of changes to us right now, but those changes are for us to set ourselves up for the future. Why are they doing this? A lot of people, well, if they want us to run our own program, then why are they telling us what to do? Guys, they're setting us up. The American Legion does not want to be looked at anymore of controlling us. They want us to make the decisions in collaboration with the American Legion. They want us working together, but they want us to control our destiny. They want us to figure out what's best for our program, because the Legion knows the better we are, the better the American Legion is. With this opportunity, the only way that it's going to work and the only way that we are going to be allowed to control our future is if we work together. So from the far right side of the room to the far left, we've got to be on the same page. The goal has been set. We have to work together to get there. When you get back home and your members in your detachment, they play a vital role as well. We all have to be on the same page. American Legion says we will always be a program. We will never get away from that. But they're giving us the autonomy to control our destiny and what that looks like. We just have to put the plan together and let them know. The SAL Subcommittee of Internal Affairs is going to be presented with a change at the NEC meeting. It's going to go down to 3 members. Those 3 members are going to work in collaboration with us. And those 3 members of that committee, the Oversight Committee, is not going to be a distant committee. That committee is going to be here at our NECs. They're going to be at our convention. So they're going to see firsthand what we're doing and what's going on. No more backdoor reports or just hearing about what's happening. They're going to have firsthand knowledge. And if they see something that they're not happy with, they're going to let us know. Where do they want this organization to go? Where do we feel it should be in 5 years? Where do they feel it should be in 25 years? Just remember, if you do not give your input, I'm going to tell you right now, do not complain. Like everybody, please remove your covers. We're all just citizens right now, right? You can hate that guy next to you. You can not want to talk to him or be involved. You don't have to have a beer with him or take him to dinner. Heck, you don't even have to work with him to try and better the Sons of the American Legion, and that's fine. It's okay. You have that right and you have those freedoms because of all the veterans that have sacrificed for you. Remember that. Put your covers on. Look around the room. With that cover on, you're representing the Sons of the American Legion. Whether you're a national officer, detachment officer, squadron officer, or just a member. You are representing the American Legion as the largest program of the American Legion. That guy next to you, you got a 95% chance that he's a member for the same reason you are. Honoring a veteran. Remember that. Now that you have that cover on, you can have a difference of opinion, and that's okay, because that creates healthy discussion. That's going to create a better strategic plan in the end. We have a goal that has been set by us from the American Legion. If we want to control our own destiny, we need a bulletproof strategic plan. We need policies and procedures that allow us to operate independently. We have to work together to get that done. So remember, when you have your cover on, we know what the goal is. We all know that the Legion has given us the autonomy to run our own program. That's the goal. Now, there's multiple paths to get there. But always remember, just because somebody may have an idea of a different path doesn't mean that we're still focused on that same goal in the end. I know everybody in this room wants that. Always remember, we're here for the same reason, to honor our veterans, the children, and their families. When you wear this cover, always represent that. Thank you. This morning, we've got some vacancies that need to be filled. Brad Dudley, a member of the Finance Commission due to his resignation. Lowell Long, a member of MT&D, also for his resignation. We have a vacancy in Assistant Sergeant at Arms, a vacancy in the Century Committee, and also a vacancy on Convention Committee. So at this time, I'd like to make a recommendation for Steve Hogenfort, sorry if I screwed that up, Honingfort, as a member of the National Finance Commission, Chris Casey as a member of the National Member in Training and Development, Greg Falco as a National Assistant Sergeant at Arms, Aiden Meacham as a member of the Century Committee, representing the Midwest as a member under 30, and Tommy Vassar, Jr., as a member of the Convention Committee. At this time, I would entertain a motion. Yes.
Bill Kelly, NEC from Florida. I'd like to make a motion that we accept the recommendations of the commander to fill these committees.
Yes.
Commander Bob Brown, NEC from Georgia. I don't know if this is on or not. I would second the motion that we acknowledge the recommendations of the commander and accept them as stated.
There's a motion on the floor by Bill Kelly from the Detachment of Florida to accept the recommendations to fill the vacancies for the appointments, and seconded by Bob Brown of Georgia. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. Motion carries. At this time, Sergeant at Arms, would you please bring before me our National Liaison, Ken George?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Indy. Woo, right? It's been 2 years since we've met in this room. And for me, it's really good to see a lot of faces. It was good to see everybody at convention. And it's refreshing. It's nice. We do have some friends that aren't with us for various reasons, and some won't be with us ever. We know, I don't know who's in, I know who some of those individuals are. I'm not going to name everybody, but you know, we need to look around the room. A lot of new faces. We need to embrace everybody. But also, too, this is a weekend for change. As the commander said, there is a golden opportunity for the SAL to actually set its own destiny. You're still going to be a program, but you know what? That program and the leash that some people think that there is, whatever it is, the reins, whatever you want to call it, they've given you the reins and said, ride your own horse, is basically the best way to put it. Some of the committees are disbanded. They'll be reformed under different guidelines. The oversight committee is smaller, but yeah, they will be amongst you and actually paying attention and watching as well as I am. So I mean, you know, my job is to actually report to them and coordinate their report and give it to the NEC and Internal Affairs. So with that, I would say, you know what? Everybody's watching. Take this opportunity and show them that the SAL is a force to be reckoned with. So with that, I will close my remarks and let you get out your meeting. Enjoy yourself in Indy, and it's good to see everybody. Thank you.
At this time, I would like to call on our Americanism Commission Chairman, Chuck Treat, to the podium for his report, along with Children and Youth Chairman, Jim Noble, and Child Welfare Foundation Committee, Mark Nave. Now, I know a lot of you may be shocked. Wait a minute, they're giving a report. So while they're making their way up to the stage, yes, something a little bit different. One of the things that I've heard over the several years of being here is, man, Sunday, all we do is listen to reports all day long. People fall asleep, you wake up, you know right what's going on. I'm going to tell everybody right now, I wouldn't fall asleep if I were you, because things are changing, things are different, and you're not going to know where you are when you wake up. We're going to go through a few reports. Yes, I understand for you, NEC, you don't have the paperwork in front of you. That's okay. Just listen. We're not going to go through any resolutions today. Resolutions will be done tomorrow. We're making some changes on the administrative side as well, so you're all aware. This evening, every voting member, as well as every past national commander, I believe, every past national commander and every voting member of the NEC will receive an email this evening. Look at your emails tonight. That's going to be all of the resolutions and all of the minutes for the meetings. At this NEC, we'll also have some printed copies, but we are transitioning. In May, you will not. The only thing you will get will be the resolutions. So keep that in mind. So open your emails. There's, come prepared for questions. So at this time, we'll go through Americanism and its committees, but no resolutions.
Good morning. Well, I guess we're not all that tall. So, I would like to, first we'll start with Mark Nave for
Child Welfare Foundation will give his report, then we'll proceed with Children and Youth. Mark?
Good morning, everyone. The Child Welfare Foundation Committee convened last night at 6:30 p.m. in the Ohio Room on the 21st floor. To lead off, I want to introduce my committee members. Most of them are in the corner over here. Lyle Chapman, George Fleming, Sandy Lippman, John Coakley. I'm honored to say that I have a committee of great experience and wealth of knowledge and energy, and they make serving on this committee the easiest job possible. Thank you, gentlemen. Last night at our meeting, we had 15 people attend, not including distinguished guests. Each committeeman gave their report on their individual regions. Overall, so far this year, we've donated $75,000 so far, which is a far cry, which is way better than last year at this time, where we had only donated $32,000. So the work is being done by our membership as the world starts to open back up, and I say thank you for that. 34 detachments so far have given donations. A special shout out goes to the Central region, where all detachments have given donations so far this year. We mentioned so far, who's our top 5? Well, starting off at number 5 is Michigan as far as total donations. Number 4 is Georgia. Number 3 is New Hampshire. Number 2 is Florida. And coming at number 1, the detachment of Texas. So it's still early, but I haven't seen this many detachments raising so much money so early in the CWF fundraising year. So the work is definitely being done, and I want to thank you for that. As we went on into the meeting, we talked about the CWF grant submissions that we had this year. We had 136 grant submissions come in this year. The quality of the grant submissions this year were like no other. Normally we usually review about 50 proposals. This year we received 68 to look at. We did our review and we made our recommendation for 10 grants to be awarded. That will happen tomorrow night at our CWF selection dinner. And as soon as that information is available, I'll make sure that information is communicated out to the membership. We have merchandise this weekend. Oh, did I say merchandise? We have merchandise. First, we have our CWF shirt, polo shirt, which is going for $35. We have a table outside where we are selling merchandise. We have our CWF Padfolio out front, which is going for $20. We also have challenge coins, which are selling for $5 a piece. And we also have a CWF phone charger, which are good for both Android and Apple phones, which are selling for $10 a piece. And I would like to say that there's 2 merchandise items that are sold out. One is the apron that we sold back in 2019 that kept on selling and kept on selling. Well, we have finally sold out. And we had CWF piggy banks, which are not a sales item, but items that we request that you order. We have ran out. National told us they had 3,000 at the beginning of the year. Well, right now, they have none in headquarters. And they're actually quite happy to see their floor, they told me. But the work continues with merchandising as we had some ideas come across the floor last night about new merchandise items, and we'll continue to work on that as we move through the year. We also talked about some of our goals for the year, and one of them is providing a guide for detachment fundraising. And a lot of the members that were there at the meeting last night gave some great suggestions, and we're looking for suggestions from anybody. You know, if you have a suggestion about fundraising that you do in your detachment, reach out to me. Reach out to one of your committeemen. Send me an email. Any idea is a great idea, and we're looking to gather as many ideas so that we can share to the membership at large. Are there any detachment chairmen here for CWF? All right, thank you, gentlemen. We're looking to have our detachment chairman involved in our phone calls so that they can get information firsthand, but you can also share information, provide information, ideas. Ideas from anybody is positive, and we look forward to having you on the phone calls and being involved with us in the upcoming year. And last but not least, some of our committee men came around with a 50-50 raffle that we were doing. All the proceeds will go to CWF, and hold on to your ticket as we will do that drawing tomorrow morning. Coming into this weekend, we were $110,000 away from reaching $9 million. $9 million in total donations by the Sons of the American Legion since 1988. Let's get a lot closer to that because, as I've said always, we will be fine when we reach 9. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Now we will have the Children and Youth report given by Jim Noble.
Morning, gentlemen. 6:30 last night, we started our meeting. We had 13 guests. Donations from last year for the Children and Youth programs was $722,706. Total hours, 112,140. Gave a value of $200,461. Emails will be going out to all the National Vice Commanders to be forwarded to detachments in their regions, including and reminding of the Children and Youth Month, which is in April. Committee goals will include working with detachments to raise the bar on our donations and publicize all activities and highlights of the Children and Youth programs. The current Children and Youth Manual will be reviewed for possible updates if needed. Unfortunately, 2 of our committee members were unable to make it here. And if you can keep in your thoughts and prayers, John Mejia out of California, he lost his wife Sugar last week. John Lawrence from Louisiana couldn't make it due to work, the hurricane down where he is. Chris Sherman of Wisconsin reported on CODA. For over 30 years, the American Legion family has donated $1.5 million to the organization. We were reluctant to have Alan Watry of Wisconsin to report on the National Convention Youth Room. Alan is the chairman of the Milwaukee Convention for next year. We continue to build on the accomplishments of the past 2 years, and I'd like to thank the gentleman in the back of the room, Bill Clancy, for all his help in that. Bill was the national chairman last 2 years. Terry Harris out of Kansas reported on CWF, and he had the opportunity to work in a booth last year at the National Convention to raise money. For the many years, the Sons have been top supporters of the program. We are nearly $9 million in donations. Terry also reported on the NEF. This program has been around since 1969, and the donations are going to members and posts suffering from disasters. I'd like to thank Sean Dieter of Pennsylvania for stepping up and giving John Medea's report on Veterans and Children Foundation. Since the creation in 1925, the American Legion Veteran and Children Foundation has delivered over $30 million in financial assistance for disabled vets, military families, and young people who have lost their parents in our nation's service. Income from the foundation investments are used for Veterans Affairs rehabilitation programs and temporary financial assistance. The committeemen are assigned regions myself in the South, John Lawrence in the Central, Chris Sherman in the Midwest, Terry Harris West, and John Mahina will be in the West, I'm sorry. Members will report on the various children and youth program and activities, and will report back to our committee at our monthly meetings. Our meetings will be held the second Monday of the month at 7:30. There will be emails going out to that effect. For Under the Good of the Sons, during our meeting, Paul Hayes of Illinois noted that the detachment is selling left-handed flag pins, and the proceeds are going to the Children and Youth Projects in Illinois. The pins will be able to be put on your right side of your cover. Chris Sherman also reported Alf Dog Project in Wisconsin. Just like the G.I. Josh dogs, they will be presented to children of employed military. And on the front of the dog, it has all 4 emblems of the American Legion family. We closed at 7 p.m., and that completes my report. Thank you, gentlemen.
Well, good morning. We were told we had 5 minutes each, so I'll make this short and sweet to try and make up the time. Number one, we met yesterday in this room. The meeting room that we were supposed to be in ran way late, so we started our meeting at about 7:35 in this room. Everybody was present, including Mr. Hammerschmidt, who was not physically present, but he was with us on conference call. We presented a number of issues. We'll get to the number one issue. Secondly, we presented a resolution that was passed by the Americanism Commission. It's been processed through the system. You will be seeing it tomorrow and voting on it at that time. It is resolution number 8 for $130,000. The minutes will reflect, that you will get tomorrow, will reflect all the information necessary regarding the meeting. Right now, I'd like to introduce Flying Flags for Heroes, Mr. Tim Abudara from California, who is attached to the Americanism Commission by resolution from the post-convention NEC meeting. Please welcome Mr. Abudara.
Good morning. A moment of personal privilege. Vice Commander Stewart, you can score us, Commander and myself, 168 hours ago. Commander Fox and I were in this room for the Boy State and Girl State National Directors Conference. And Flying Flags for Heroes was a program and the service project that we introduced. You all have the brochure on Flying Flags for Heroes, and I believe you all have what we will call the cheat sheet on the national message for Flying Flags for Heroes. In addition to the role that Commander Fox has appointed me to on the Americanism Commission, I'm also the National Commander's liaison for this program. The good news for all of you is I'm not going to go through all the bullet points on the handout. You can go through that yourself. At the convention, just before it closed, Commander Fox's Flying Flags for Heroes service project was approved. This is the ultimate service project in serving veterans, and it's something that we can all do wonderfully with a minimum of fundraising. This is an opportunity to engage our communities in a program where we honor veterans who are interred in local cemeteries. Our national cemeteries get plenty of recognition for our veterans that are laid to rest there, but over 400,000 veterans are buried in local cemeteries every year. And this is our opportunity to engage the community, honor veterans, and an opportunity to increase our membership. what is more mom, apple pie, and Americanism than placing flags at the grave sites of our fallen heroes? We have some things that we'll be addressing with some training in a little while with the detachment commanders and adjutants. But to the members of the NEC, we are calling on you to work with your detachment commanders. The goal that Commander Fox has set is 1 million flags during his term as national commander. We can't get to a goal without a plan. And what we need from each detachment is their goal, what their goal for the next year or the next 11 months is in placing flags in local cemeteries. And number two, each detachment needs to have someone who owns this project in their detachment. A communication will be going out to the detachment commanders, adjutants, and all of you requesting that information, along with providing you with speaking notes that mirror what you've already received. Achieving 1 million flags over the next 11 months should be an easy goal to achieve, and the benefits for all of us and for those veterans and their families are immeasurable. We ask you to embrace this. It's not difficult, and it doesn't take a lot of money. So that concludes my report. I'm here all weekend, happy to answer questions. Thank you very much.
So today we have a field trip. We'll be loading at 1 p.m. We'll give further details under announcements later, but that would conclude the reports for for the Americanism Commission. Once again, 1 p.m. we load the buses. By 1:30 p.m. they're gone. So you need to be here on time. Please dress appropriate, and we look forward to you experiencing the opportunity under Flying Flags for Heroes. Thank you. So, what's that? Minus resolutions. Thank you.
If there are no objections, I'd like to move the Americanism Commission report minus the resolutions to file. Americanism reports moved to file. Thank you, gentlemen. American Legion Auxiliary member Kathy Dodestol of the Department of Kentucky became the national president of the American Legion Auxiliary during its organization's 100th national convention, held August 27th through September 2nd in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. Dodestol is eligible for the ALA membership through her father, a United States Army veteran who served during the Korean War era. An ALA member for 25 years, Dodestol has held numerous leadership positions at the unit, district, department, and national levels, including National Vice President, National Committee Chair, Veteran Affairs and Rehabilitation, Children and Youth, POPI, National Security, Americanism, Membership, and Leadership, National Committee Vice Chair, Junior Activities, National Executive Committee, and alternate National Executive Committee. Dodestol retired from a Fortune 500 company after more than 30 years where she worked in the Information Technology Department. She earned her Bachelor of Science degree in Information Technology from Northern Kentucky University. Dodestol has 2 daughters, 4 grandchildren, and 2 son-in-laws. Sergeant at Arms, please escort before me the American Legion Auxiliary National President, Kathy Dodestol. Madam President, the podium is yours.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for that wonderful welcome. Commander Fox, past national commanders, officers, and very important members. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for letting me join you this morning. I'm honored and humbled, and mostly I'm excited to be able to come and personally tell you how much we appreciate everything you do, especially for the 4 pillars in the Child Welfare Foundation. You do some outstanding, outstanding, amazing work, and it is much appreciated. And you probably don't hear that enough. So I want to tell you a little bit about our focus on the auxiliary side this year. It's caregiving, caring for those who care for others. There are 5.5 million unpaid caregivers of military and veterans in this country. We recognize that there's a lot of Legion family members who are caregivers, but they don't associate or they don't think of themselves as caregivers. It's just family doing what family does for family. So we want to let them know that we support them, there's resources available for them, and they're not alone in their endeavors. I mean, family working together, right? That's what it's all about. Which makes me have to say that this is why I appreciate Commander Fox's project so much. It's Flying Flags for Heroes. What better way to get our Legion family working together as a family? It's a great way to rally support, and what better cause than to respect our veterans? So I want to thank you for that, Commander Fox. It's outstanding job. I want to thank everybody here. I want to let you know that I've been to a couple different departments, Michigan, Vermont, and Ohio, and the Legion family is really, really working together, and it's very strong in force in the communities for our veterans. So I really think you're doing an outstanding job. It's much appreciated. My vice president and I will be joining you for the field trip this afternoon, just to show you that I'm really into working together as a family, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope to see a lot of you there as well. If you have any questions, I'll be around, and you can catch me on the field trip while we're placing flags on our heroes' graves. So thank you so much again for inviting me over to speak to you. It's an honor, it's a pleasure. I appreciate everything you're doing. God bless, and I wish you a really successful morning. Thank you.
So, Madam President, before you walk away, on behalf of the Fox Squad team, we'd like to present you with one of the shirts to take back with you. At this point, I'd like to call on our Internal Affairs Commission Chairman, along with MT&D Chairman Mike Monserud and Membership Chairman Tom Skelly, to the podium for their reports. And Madam President, you're welcome here anytime.
Good morning, all. The Internal Affairs Committee met last night at 6:30, at 7:30, up in the room on the 21st floor. We had a lighthearted and fun meeting, and we got the ball rolling on multiple fronts in wonderful ways. We started with reports from the commissioners that roll up under internal affairs. And I'm going to, in the interest of time, jump right into letting these fine gentlemen give their reports. I'm going to start with membership training and development. Chairman Mike Monserrat, here he is.
Morning, gentlemen. Last night at 6:30, we met in the Michigan room. We had 29 members in attendance, and we went over to what the plan for the MT&D committee is for this year. It's an aggressive plan, it's a big plan, but we're here to serve you. The first thing we're going to do is Commander's class is going to move to National Convention in Milwaukee. That's the first order of business we're working on. Second order of business, we're going to take NMI 1, 2, and 3. We're going to refine it a little bit, and we're going to represent it in the spring. NMI 1, 2, and 3 will be held in the spring. I've had that question asked 2 or 3 times. We will be holding the class. Since we're going to move Commander's class, that's going to open up a slot in the Fall NEC. We're going to develop an NEC-man class, and that's going to be held in that place. And last but not least, the ambassadors training, known as the National Vice Commanders training, will be refined and redistributed. We will hold that again. Gentlemen, we're here for you. We're here to develop the leaders that are coming behind us. Everything we do should last for 5 years, because 5 years from now, there's going to be new people taking our places. We need to train those people right now to take our place right now. If we don't get the training in 5 years, where are we going to be? We need to develop and pass it down to them. So what I need from all of you, NEC-men, past National Vice Commanders, past commanders, I need you to contact me. See me this weekend. I'll give you my business card. I want you to tell me what it's going to take to replace you as an NEC-man, a National Vice Commander, a detachment commander. You need to help me and my committee make these programs a lot better. And I have a great committee. I have Tom Marsden from New Jersey. I have Scott Baker from Pennsylvania. And I got Mike Cotton from Delaware. So please get a hold of them too. We're going to work diligently. We're going to work hard. And we're going to try to give you guys the best training we can over the next few years that you can pass down to the squadron levels. So, gentlemen, it's brief. Any questions? Hearing none, thank you.
Next up would be the chairman of the membership committee, Mr. Thom Skelly.
Good morning, everyone. The much anticipated and long awaited membership report, first one of the year. Some great news, 48 out of 55 detachments hit our 10% goal. We did meet at 6:35 yesterday. I do want the record to reflect that committee member Ron Roberts, who is a dual member, shows as absent. I would like that changed to excused, as he was attending to Legion business. So I want to make that slight change. But again, 48 out of 55 detachments have made their 10% membership goal. Southern region, once again, in the lead after the first membership mark. Special shout out to the detachment of Hawaii, already over 100% membership. Commander would like me to reiterate, 48 detachments out of 55, okay? Great accomplishment. My question is, why wasn't it 55 out of 55? But we're working on that. That's our job. We had reports from each region. The National Vice Commanders and the committee members reported. One of the things we would like to do is get the word out as to what we're doing as a team. I asked in the meeting last night, what does team stand for? Together, everyone achieves more. So working together, we're going to get to that 105%. We're going to set a new all-time high this year. I believe that Commander Fox and his team that he's put together, we have a shot at hitting that 400,000 member mark. We all put our minds to do. We can get it done. We discussed the Paid Up for Life program that an ad hoc committee was supposed to have been assigned to look into, and we're going to follow up on that. Under some of the new business, we made a motion to accept the National Commander Paul Dillard's incentive that went out to the American Legion members. If you have been a member for at least 5 years, continuous membership, and you did not pay last year's dues, you can still pay this year's and have your continuous membership continue. It will be at 6 years instead of 7, but it will continue. You won't lose those years. If you choose to pay last year's dues, of course, and this year's, you will continue at 7 years. We did have a resolution that was passed through our committee last night, forwarded on to Finance and then to Internal Affairs that we will get into tomorrow. We discussed the possibility of creating a forum where detachments can share their success stories and ideas around the nation so that what works in California may not exactly work in Massachusetts, but you have a game plan, something that you can start with. You may need to tweak it a little bit, but it's a proven success. We stress getting the message down to the squadron level to just ask, as November is National Renewal Month, to honor the veteran that gave you your eligibility to be a son of the American Legion. What better month to do it in than Veterans Day? So we're asking you to go back to your detachments, down to your squadrons, and ask those people, please renew in November. There's no reason to wait until January when your card's already expired. We stress the importance of being a current member in good standing, God forbid should a natural disaster strike. Part of the NEF regulations state that you have to be a member in good standing when the disaster occurs, and you have to be a member in good standing when you apply and you're eligible for up to $3,000 in relief fund. So it's a huge benefit of being a member of the Sons of the American Legion. With that, no further business. The committee adjourned at 7:45. Any questions? Hearing none, Commander, my report.
Thank you. Great report, thank you. And the third committee that rolls up under Internal Affairs is for our next convention. So Mr. Alan Watley.
Good morning, gentlemen. The National Convention Committee did a get-together at 7:30 yesterday evening in the Ohio Room. We had 13 people present, including our committee members and our scribe or recorder for the evening. We started with the normal ways we start all our meetings. We had some reports. We did have a motion that was unanimously approved, thanking and congratulating the Detachment of Arizona for a very great convention under some very trying times with all our COVID implications. So Mr. Treat was not able to be there. He was running different meetings. So to Mr. Treat and to the Detachment of Arizona, thank you for a great convention in Phoenix. With that business completed, we started to talk about the 50th convention in Milwaukee. We did have Mr. Joe Gladden, the chair for the 50th Convention Commemorative Committee. He gave a review of what their plans are, and I'm not going to share them. I will let them share those later on, but do know that we are going to work very closely with them on the convention in Milwaukee. We then did turn to the plans that we have going in Milwaukee from the Detachment of Wisconsin. We did review, there's a document we have that's called a strategic plan that's been passed along for the last several years between detachments. So we will be following that. This year we're also going to start to create a one sheet per convention, kind of a history summary. So as we continue to grow and we continue to do programs like the youth room, we can look back and see what was done, how many youth were there, what were the topics, and hopefully continue to grow. Just a little bit more efficient versus every time we get together, who did what for pins and those sorts of things. With the convention in Milwaukee, Milwaukee, if you haven't been there, is an awesome place. Between the Milwaukee Brewers and the stadium there, we now have the Deer Zone for the Milwaukee Bucks. We have Water Street down on the Milwaukee River. You've got the lakefront and the Veterans Memorial in that area. We have Harley Davidson's museum, brewery tours, and many more things. So the detachment has a lot to choose from, and we're looking forward to hosting it. The plans right now that we're working on will be a social Friday night, most likely at one of our squadron and posts in the area. Theme potentially could be beer, brats, and sweet corn. And the beer, rumor has it, we might try to get Spotted Cow for those people that like New Glarus Brewery. We are going to work, as mentioned earlier, with the children and youth to have a children and youth room again, looking to build upon what happened in Arizona. The 128th refueling wing is in the area. Don't know if we can pull something off to get a tour or get some people from that to the convention, but that is something we're going to work on. Saturday is going to be a lot of the activities at the 50th will be taken care of, and again, I'm going to leave that to them. And then we are working with the Legion family Sunday at Veterans Park, which is just a little bit east of where the convention will be. They're going to have Legion Family Day. There's actually a different organization already set up to do what they're calling Oktoberfest. I don't know why they do Oktoberfest in August, but that's their reasons. But we are working with them, or the detachment, department, and the auxiliary are working with them to have a Legion booth, and we are going to probably have the entire Legion family invited to go to that activity. With that, we did have some final questions and answers, and then we closed at 8:15. Any questions? That is my report. Thank you.
Great job, Alan, and I myself am very much looking forward to that convention and Youth Room 4. I'll take a moment. I'd like to introduce the other members of the Internal Affairs Commission. We have as our members Mr. Mark Tanzel, who everybody knows, Mr. Steve Gower, Mr. Jay Cook. We have Mr. Ken Sutton from California, who could not be here this weekend due to personal reasons, so he was excused. And our co-chair is Mr. Bear Wiesler. And whenever you're ahead of a commission or a committee and you have your number two is a guy named Bear, you're in good shape. So Bear, thank you. We did cover some ground on just pure internal affairs last night, and it mostly related to resolutions. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. One of our goals for the coming year is to look at our Constitution and bylaws and to see if there's any positive changes that can be made to those, and you'll be hearing more from that throughout the year. That's a big process, and we're being very thoughtful about it. That said, Mr. Manager, Mr. Commander, that is my report, minus the resolutions. And thank you, sir.
If there are no questions or opposition, we will move the Internal Affairs report to file. Yes.
Rick Cook, Past NEC Commander. The ad hoc committee on the 50th Commemorative Committee was formed and assigned to IA to report to IA, and that doesn't seem like that has happened. So it needed to be also included in IA report, but it hadn't been held yet, so it also needs to go into IA.
Thank you for that. Let me explain a little bit more. The Internal Affairs is also going to be meeting again tomorrow. It is not their full report, so maybe I should state that the opening report for Internal Affairs for their committees underneath them, minus the 50th anniversary, as well as resolutions, be moved to file.
Good. Thank you.
If there's no further questions or comments, move to file. Okay, at this time, we're going to get into some announcements, if anybody has any announcements. But what I'd like to do before anybody else gets up is our National Vice Commanders have got some pretty little boxes in front of them for VCF The National Commander Paul Dillard's goal this year was to raise $2 million for Veteran and Children's Foundation. So these gentlemen are going to walk around, and those little boxes hold some change. So if you got any change in your pocket that you'd like to make a donation for, keep in mind they also hold ones, fives, tens, 20s, hundreds. And believe me, if the box gets full, they can dump that box out and put it in their hat, and just know that this donation will go to VCF, and we'll make sure that it is on record that it came from the NEC meeting. So as we roll into announcements, yeah, and call on our national historian, Bill Towns. Here, our national historian has some special words for everybody, so please, as you're reaching into that pocket, pay attention. He got some good information for you guys.
Good morning. With the high cost in hours and dollars, are scrapbooks, history books, or even newsletters even important anymore? I mean, really, those that want to know what's going on are already there. Who really needs to know what went on 20, 40, 50 years ago? Yes, these are actual answers when I asked squadron members why they didn't have a book. Kind of sad. Without these books, would anybody remember the efforts of Squadron 71, North Augusta, South Carolina? Young members there built a cage and started a letter-writing campaign to request humane treatment for our servicemen who were being held in Vietnam. What about by knowing that by September, there were 45 new squadrons created in 1971. 45 in 1 year. Or how about there were 24 detachments at the very first National Convention of the Sons of the American Legion. Without a scrapbook, without a history book or newsletters, would anybody be able to learn that a 1963 Arcadia Squadron 24 commander would become our first elected national commander? His first appointments as his national adjutant was Eric Smith out of Illinois. And his sergeant at arms was Fred Hartline out of Ohio. Did you know that both the East and West and the national chaplain all had to win contested elections to hold their positions? Gentlemen, I'm encouraging you to go back. Start working on a scrapbook, a history book, and yes, even write an article for a newsletter. Because in Milwaukee, we really need to see more than 3 or 4 books to judge. Yes, I think we can handle the cost of books and newsletters, but can we handle the cost of not having them? Where are they going to look for information in the future? What we are doing today is tomorrow's history. And if we don't teach them, they won't know. Mr. Commander, thank you for your time.
Are there any announcements from the floor at this time? Anybody have any announcements?
Mr. Graham? Are we on? It's working, okay.
Yes.
This probably would be better under the goods of the sun some more, but I want to make sure that, Byron Robichaux, past National Commander. Sorry. Start over. But I think this would be better to mention at this point in time, while there's more people, because sometimes the crowd gets a little bit smaller. You're talking about, the chaplain talked about family and us being a family and the programs, and you're talking about people younger and so forth. And there was a time when there were a lot younger people here. And that connection comes to the fact that the recent storm we had, one of our members, this is Tom Marsden's son, Tom's in the room, I know somewhere, Lucas, he works for a company that puts out generators for cell towers and stuff of that nature. And so I get a call from Lucas out of the clear blue. I haven't heard from Lucas in a while. This is Tom's son. And he asked me how things were, so what damage I had and so forth. And he goes, well, let me see what I can do. Let me talk to my boss. He said, and we talked about the fact, he said, when people sit there and go, he goes, how do you know this guy for 30 years if you're only like 37 years old? And he goes, because I knew him since I was a kid. And we did. And so Lucas talked to his boss, and next thing I know, I have at my house a diesel generator that ran my entire house with electricity, which was filled up each day by the company.
That's all right. Take your time. Take your time.
I'm very fortunate in terms of the fact that the damage we suffered compared to other people is minimal. But that's what family's about. He didn't want any recognition, but he didn't want any recognition about it, but I said, no, I've got to give you at least some shout out at the NEC meeting to let you know that's what we're about. And so, when you come from young, they learn. And he's proven that. And he's a great friend. So I just want to make you aware. Thank you.
Thank you for that. So at this time, under announcements, I'd like to call up Americanism Chairman Chuck Treat. Are you still out here up to the podium? Go ahead. Joe? Absolutely.
Gladden, past National Commander from Maryland. Byron, thank you for making us all cry. Incredible story. Now to make you laugh and enjoy, tonight the Maryland will be hosting our annual Tata Tribe meeting over in the Hilton, Indianapolis, 120 West Street, after 8 o'clock. We'll be asking you to come over, have your pinky ready, and your pinky will be painted for $20, and all that money will go to breast cancer awareness, which is important to all of us and the ones that we love. So hopefully we'll see you all tonight, not all at the same time.
Well, gentlemen, now we're going to make an announcement about Flying Flags for Heroes. At 1 o'clock, we're going to be loading the buses. At 1:30 p.m., we are leaving. We are gone. So please be there early so that we can load up the buses. We have several buses to load. We will then depart the hotel, and we will head out to the Lincoln Memory Gardens, where we will perform a ceremony. We have the Madam President Doddlestell will be with us. Commander Fox, I do not, is the American Legion commander going to be with us? The American Legion commander will not be with us. Did I just did? No.
No, you're good.
Okay. So, please be out front. It is a ceremony. It is a solemn occasion, but we will be planting flags. We will have flags out there. The buses will unload one by one, and you will be directed where you need to go. There is a formal script. We will have a short opening on the ceremony. We will have color guards there. We will have trumpeters there. It is a full ceremony. So please join us. Come as you are, but change your shoes. Make sure your shoes are a little bit more accessible for walking on grass. That may be a little bit softer than hard pavement. Do you have anything you'd like to add?
You thought you were done with me, didn't you? This is really today an opportunity to see what Flying Flags for Heroes is, and it's an opportunity for you to go back to your detachments after having walked the talk. So please be part of this today. Let it be a motivator to go back and accomplish Commander Fox's goal of 1 million flags. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. So just as a reminder, while this ceremony may seem elaborate and detailed, a lot of work went into it. I have to thank, I've been calling him Super Dave, past National Commander Dave Stevens did a lot of the legwork here in Indy for us. Indispensable on bringing all these different entities together to help this happen. But the one takeaway here is that while we have a lot of details, your ceremony can be simple. It can be solemn, and it can represent the true nature of this ceremony without having to go through all the extremes. The number one issue is that we do it, that we go out there and we find the non-military Veterans Affairs type cemeteries. There are over 400,000 buried at non-veterans cemeteries that should be recognized that go unrecognized. And they're in the nook and crannies of some communities, and we don't want to leave anybody behind. So that's part of this process too. And then when you do it, we want people to record it. So this is an opportunity for you to take home the full thing, the full ceremony, and at the same time, take a look at it and see what you can do locally and help sell it to your guys back in your detachments. That's what we need for you to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. Just to add one more thing to that, gentlemen, you know, we're all here for a reason and a purpose. This event is about doing something new when we get together at our NEC meetings. I preach getting outside of your four walls. I preach about community engagement and getting involved in the community. Well, we're acting upon it. Well, I guess I can't say I'm going to mandate everybody to be there. I'm going to strongly encourage that you all attend, because I can guarantee you that people are going to know if you're not there, and it's going to be unfortunate because you're going to miss a good event. You're going to miss us getting involved in the community in Indianapolis, and it's something that I know I'm going to carry forward to our next meeting as well. When we gather, we're going to get involved in the community. So look forward to seeing every single one of you this afternoon as well. Thank you, Jimmy. Yes.
New Jersey, member of MT&D, permission to speak?
Yes, sir.
Commanders and adjutants, 10 minutes after the close of this meeting, meet back in this room. We'll enter the commanders and adjutants that are here, please stand and be recognized at this time. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming. 10 minutes after the close. Thank you.
Yes.
Camille Lejeune, NEC from Louisiana. I did get to mention yesterday at the membership meeting, as a contract employee with the Department of Louisiana, I see and do a lot of things. And at this time, I would like to thank all those departments and detachments from whatever state that you might be in that have delivered truckloads of goods and supplies and monetary donations to our great state of Louisiana. It's without our dedicated family members that it's very hard for some people to function out there because they have nothing. Those of you that might have heard Grand Isle was completely wiped out. They are not allowing anybody to get into that particular location unless you are a landowner over there. There's still no utilities there, and some of our places still have not been back to school. So once again, from the Department of Louisiana and Attachment, I would like to say thank you if your state has made any contributions to our great state. Thank you, Mr. Commander.
Yeah. Yes.
Mr. Commander, Jeff Rabel, Sr., National Vice Commander for the Central Region. And thanks to the generosity of our members in this room, we're happy to announce that $1,345.67 was raised for VCF.
Great job.
Mr. Commander.
Yes.
Past National Commander Gene Sacco from California. I just wanted to bring up another item regarding Flying Flags Are Heroes because I didn't hear it in today's presentations. There's a website, it's in the brochure, flyingflagsforheroes.com. It's critical that when you schedule your ceremonies in your own states, or your squadrons do, that you go on to the site, you register the upcoming event on the site with all the contact information, and then also after the event is done, it's very critical that pictures, videos, etc. are taken of the event, that you post those pictures on the site, as well as post how many flags you placed, because there is a counter on the home page of the website that's updated 2 or 3 times a week. And what we really want to see to encourage participation also is that number going up. So visit the website often, see where we are, and definitely do not forget to post the pictures and also post the upcoming events that you've scheduled. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'm going to also do something a little bit different. If the leading candidate and the second leading candidate would like a few moments to address the body, to give any announcements, words of encouragement, I would invite you to the podium, and you may have a few moments if you'd like. While they're making their way up here, something else that's a little different. I have been asked by leadership in our organization, particularly our national vice commanders, they want to do something different. They're going to be holding a NEC meeting with their region. So NEC men, pay attention. This is for you. At 4:30 this afternoon in the Circle East room. If you are a National Executive Committeeman from the East, you need to be in the Circle East at 4:30. If you are an NEC man from the Central Region, you need to be in Circle Center at 4:30. If you are from the South, you will need to be in the Illinois room on the 21st floor at 4:30. If you are from the Western Region, you will need to be in Circle West on the nope, that's down here, lower lobby at 4:30. And if you're from the Midwest, the Ohio room at 4:30. So gentlemen, don't disappoint your vice commanders because they will be taking roll.
Thank you, Commander. I got the memo. Good morning. As you all know, we are all a team, and we all need to work as a team. Commander Fox has his team. He has 5 vice commanders. Well, I'm not running alone. I am not a lone candidate. I'm not doing anything by myself. I, too, have a team. There are 5 other gentlemen that are running for office in their respective regions. And if you would, as I call your name, would you stand and be recognized? From the East, we have Ernie LaBrage. From the South, we have Ron Roberts. From the Central, we have Dave Manell. From the Midwest, we have Mike Kirshner. And from the West, we have Jack Young. Be on the lookout for these gentlemen as they are campaigning in their respective regions. Along with that, what we'd like to say, on this field trip, we understand we have a great opportunity, us candidates, because with straight time and trying to get to the bus, what we are doing, we are providing a boxed lunch for everyone that is going on the field trip. When you load the buses, we will have a boxed lunch to give to you. Very important instructions, though, to make this go fast and easy so we can load on time. If you would, exit the building at the west doors going towards the parking garage. When you turn right and go around the corner, we will be set up there. We will be passing out a boxed lunch and a bottle of water. Each one of us will be on a bus with a trash bag, so when we are finished, we can collect the trash and take care of it. We are doing this compliments. We thank you for all you're doing. We thank you for attending and supporting Commander's Project. And with that, I look forward to seeing all of you. Thank you.
Good morning. It's nice to see everybody back here. And as my name was announced in Phoenix, the excitement started growing, and I can't thank everybody enough who's came up to me and offered, the support and help along the way. So as I get going, I will need everybody's help and support, and that starts now by supporting Commander Fox and everything and all the changes. So please embrace these changes and know that this organization has been around a long time, and we're going to make it better, all of us together, and we're going to keep growing, and we're going to show why this emblem that we wear shines so bright. Thank you all.
Are there any more announcements from the floor at this time? 45. So there's been an anonymous donation to add to the VCF total in $1,350, totaling $2,695.67. So good job, guys. $1,350. I got it up here. For all of the chairmen, don't hate me, don't throw darts, please. I apologize right now. I'll take part of the blame. All chairmen at 12 o'clock today down here, media will be here to take official photos for the website. You don't need to be in a full suit if you don't want to. It's only from, just a headshot, so from the top up. So if you could please come down here and get your official photo for the website. That way everything's uniform and we all have the same background, because right now there's some different things up there. But if we could do that, I would appreciate it. 12 o'clock, media will be down here, downstairs, set up to do that. It's only going to take a quick second as long as you know how to smile pretty. We can get through it real quick, get it done, load the buses. Tomorrow morning, memorial service will start at 7:30 sharp. Should last about a half an hour. We'll take a small little break for those that are here to use the restroom. We will start at 8:15 sharp tomorrow. We will reconvene the NEC. Does anybody have any questions on those? Oh, you guys are good. Right after we close right here, our National Vice Commanders are going to have a caucus. If you're in the Eastern region, you'll be in Circle East, directly across the hall. Central region, Circle Center. Western region, Circle West. Southern region, over here to the left. Midwest region, over here to the right. All of the commission meetings that are on the schedule for 10 a.m. are going to start at 10:20 to allow time for the caucus so everybody can be involved. So all meetings will start at 10:20. So if you look at your schedule, just push everything back 20 minutes. Colors being in place, please join me in rendering a hand salute by the numbers. 1, 2. The National Executive Committee of the Sons of the American Legion will now stand in recess until 8:15 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Mark Harrington. Mark Harrington, where are you? Can you come up to the front, please?